Did you work with many American musicians, Ralph?
Well, not in the early stages. Lately I have with David Bromberg and a lot in America, but I did actually share the bill once with Paul Simon. As you know, Paul used to work in London in the 60s and was part of the scene there. And I was persuaded to do a folk and blues festival, really a blues festival in of all places, and no offence to Bexhill, but down there in the retirement belt, really. And we got, the stage was very near the seafront. Paul was top of the bill. There was the Panama Jug Band and myself, and there were like 5 people in deck chairs, all fast asleep, as I recall it. And at the end of the gig, I can't remember the poor guy's name who put it on. He was a very keen member of the Blues Federation in England at the time. And he said to me, "Look, I'm sorry, Ralph, I can't give you your fee," which incidentally was £7, because Paul's insisting on his, which was 20, and that's included all the ice cream money, the raffle and everything. But he said, I want to give you something that is my most precious possession. I said, well, I don't think that's entirely appropriate, we'll just... But it turned out to be an album which I have played and played and played, and I still play. And I get real pleasure out of it, even more as the time goes by. It's The King of the Delta Blues Singers by Robert Johnson. It was before it was available in this country, so it was a real treasure. He'd got it imported. This young man was reckoned to be about 21 when he died. I think he's a true poet, a real poet. His lyrics have been stolen by the people since and used. The Rolling Stones have recorded his songs, Eric Clapton has recorded his songs. There's something in his urgency, in his incredibly skillful playing, and in his voice that still sounds fresh and modern to me. It would be wrong for me to say that I hadn't started to listen to English folk music at this time, because my interest led me to folk clubs where I could hear some of the music that I was really enjoying. It was there that I first heard Martin Carthy. And it's a little bit of a link, with regard to the Paul Simon connection, because there's so many tracks that I could have picked of Martin's, but there's one album that it seemed to me just about everybody seemed to have got at that time. It's the one where, I've forgotten the title, but he's sitting on some pallet on a crane, looking a bit self-conscious, and playing his old Martin guitar as well.
Yes, it's called Martin Carthy. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, yes, okay. And Dave Swarbrick appears on there on a couple of tracks. And I have to pick Scarborough Fair because, in a way, I think it was Martin's approach, and it's definitely Martin's version, which later appeared as, the Paul Simon, on the Paul Simon record. But Martin's approach to a tune has always been original and fresh, and I think this is a classic example of looking at a melody that's been around for years and changing the tempo and bringing in other influences, and I think it's a classic.
It was a really exciting time for folk, wasn't it, Ralph?
Oh, it was wonderful. And the other thing that was also interesting, sociologically, I think, was that just as this interest was growing in the South, there was this tremendous stuff happening in Scotland, almost totally independently as far as I could see. I mean, Davy Graham was playing in London, and there was Archie Fisher in Scotland, and they would, without Davy, I think, and perhaps Martin, we would never have got Bert Chance,